Chapter 10. All right, boy, Mr. Chapman shouted at Oliver. You have 7 months of training to catch up on, so you are going to have to train 10 times harder than anyone else. If you can still stand by the end of today, it only means you didn't do enough. Understand? Oliver stood excitedly before Mr. Chapman at the sports stadium, adrenaline pumping through his veins. When someone says adrenaline pumping through his veins, it means that he's very excited and getting very alert, okay? He didn't care what training he had to endure. Oliver was finally being treated as a proper student. Yes, Mr. Chapman, Oliver shouted with gusto. Gusto, that means enthusiasm, okay? Mr. Chapman smirked. Good. Now run 6 laps with your weapon. What? 6? I've never even run 4 before, Olivia whined. Mr. Chapman laughed. How do you expect to be a superhero if you can't even run 6 laps? Oliver began to jog slowly around the running track, trying to conserve his stamina, when suddenly he heard a loud bark coming from behind him. Oliver turned around to see a giant dog galloping towards him from about 50 meters away. It resembled, that means looks like a Shiba Inu, but was about 6 feet long and 5 feet tall with a pair of long, slick antennas on its head. Antennas are this. See, these are antennas, okay? Oh, did I forget to mention something? Mr. Chapman shouted. To make this training more realistic, Lappy is going to be chasing you around the track. Don't let his antenna touch you or you start all over again. Oliver ran as fast as he could to escape Lappy, the domesticated, that means the tame and the school has kept him as a pet, the domesticated monster dog. By the end of the first lap, he felt like his lungs were going to explode. Dropping his weapon, he crouched over his knees to catch his breath. Ow! Lappy's antennas delivered a small electric shock to Oliver as it grazed, that means slightly touched his buttocks. Start again, Oliver, Mr. Chapman ordered. For half an hour, Oliver tried in vain, that means like it's useless, to escape Lappy before collapsing onto the track in exhaustion. Okay, Mr. Chapman sighed in disappointment. All right, you're done for today, he remarked. Oliver, how can you be a superhero if you're not even fit? Oliver gazed outwards at Mr. Chapman, half dazed. In between huge gasps of air, he muttered, More training, please. A tiny hint of a smile creeped onto Mr. Chapman's face. Nurse Katie will be here soon, he said. Rest well, Oliver. Then you run again 2 days later. The next day, Oliver rested on his bed, groaning from the soreness in his balm-soaked legs. His mother knelt on the floor beside him, gripping Oliver's hand tightly in hers. Her eyebrows were furrowed with concern. Okay, you can use this phrase, very nice. Eyebrows are furrowed with concern. How can Mr. Chapman push you so hard? Oliver's mother asked. How about I tell Mrs. Woodsworth to take it easier, at a pace that's right for you? What do you say? No, Oliver immediately replied. Mom, I don't want to be a handicap anymore. Some of my schoolmates are already going for internships. Who might know when the galaxy may need me? I have to be ready as soon as possible. Oliver's mother raised her eyebrows in pleasant surprise. She was proud and amazed at how determined her son could be. With a gentle smile, she stroked Oliver's head. All right, Ollie, we'll do it your way then. In the meantime, how about some iced chendol with extra brown sugar? Oliver grinned from ear to ear. You can use this phrase on compo also, grin from ear to ear. Yes, please, he quipped. Through a series of running and accelerated healing by Nurse Katie, thanks to her superpower, Oliver quickly grew stronger. Just 3 weeks before Mrs. Woodsworth returned to school, Oliver finally outran Lappy for 6 laps. Well done, Oliver. And you are earlier than I expected, Mr. Chapman congratulated. Wear your battle gear tomorrow, Oliver. Next up, the war room.